Okay, now that we got the edge done, let's tie these off. Same thing, double knot. Don't worry about if your little strings get in your way on the back, you can cut them really short, but do not cut your knot off. Because eventually we're gonna have to just glue them bad boys down. Four colors. What color to choose for the end? I like to play. We'll use yellow for the outline. Okay. My long thread, my short thread. Short thread, the ones that's going to be strung on the needle. So you have your letter, your initial that you're going to do. What I want you to do is poke a hole at the corners of your name. And the reason for this is so we can see on the back. I'll show you. So we're done right here. Poke the holes at the back and see them little holes, and it will show you exactly where your needle needs to be and where it's going to be at the end of this. So I like to start at the far end, work my way across, and we'll start at the very top and go from top around to the bottom to the corner. Because it's such a small letter, you may only need one row of beads. And you don't start, you see how I have it started at the very top of it? Because I'm so used to doing the edging my things. What we're going to do is we're going to start just a little tad below that. So instead of starting right here, we're going to start right there. I'll use this pencil. So have it at the very top, we're going to start it right here. That way it goes straight across, and we'll just use one row of beads and then use the rest to go downwards. Pull your needle out. Don't pull too hard, just lightly, and it'll slide right on out. Okay, we're going to use yellow. Yellow 5 across is perfect. We'll just tack it right in the middle of that outer circle right there. Tack. Pull your longer thread, and because it's a 5, what I like to do is get it right in the middle of that the middle bead right there. See that, guys? That's what we're going to pull this string up. And then we're going to tack it on the other side, right in the middle of it again. So it looks like this. Oh, you can see that. Okay, let's get this down a little bit more. Okay. It's right in the middle. You're going to take your string, well, after you're done pulling it all the way through. Okay, I pulled it a little too much. But I'm going to pop it back out. My thread. I take one side of it, put it on one side, take the other side, put it on the other side, and hold it with my thumb and pull, and I should see that it's both held together. Now that we got that part done, I'm going to go on my back side, look, everything's secure. Now I'm going to come right below that second bead from the right, which would be your left, but because in this case, and it's going to be right on that line. You see how my string goes straight down that edge? That's where I want it. And since we're doing yellow, we're going to stick with yellow. And that's where I'm trying to put my beads all the way to. So I need to fill in probably 3 more beads. And your beads are going to be different sizes. Some are going to be skinny, some are going to be fat, some are going to be wonky. But you know what? That's fine. Because in this case, we're just going to fill in the letter. And people might have a different way of filling in letters. I know I have a different way of filling in a letter than I'm doing right now. But this is probably going to be the easiest way for you guys to fill in a letter. Notice I didn't tack it down yet. My second string. I did go ahead and tack every 3 again. Because there's 9 beads on here, I tacked every 3. This part of the M may be difficult for people because if you have an M or a D, I think the M and the N is more difficult because it's a lot of going back and forth. And see, I did it again. I went to the very edge of my letter and I put it on the very edge, pull my needle through, and I will probably grab 6 or 5 beads depending if I'll have gray showing. And we don't want no gray showing because we want to get the whole letter, so 5's perfect for it. Just at the top. Do that again. I'm going to tack it down at the very middle of it. Okay, go ahead. And I'm going to tack just 2 down on the sides because I do notice it's going to kind of flop over. So I'm going to tack every 2, and then I'm going to tack, every 2, and then it's okay to have one that's just at the very end that's not tacked down because it really ain't going to matter at this point. Sorry, guys. Now, I'm going to take my short needle, the one that's been grabbing the beads, I'm going to go close as possible to that first row of beads I had laid down. I don't want to put my needle right on that, but I want to get it close to that. So we had 9 beads. We'll see if 9 beads fits again. Like I said, a lot of people have different ways of beading an initial. I don't personally do initials because lettering is really hard in beading. But also, it's doable. Beading is a form of art for Native Americans. Even though it probably didn't originate, I don't think it even originated in Native American heritage. I know quilling did. Quilling was a big thing. But beading, I have no clue where this one actually came from. I just know this is what I was taught and this is what I do. So, as you can see, I got the letter down. It looks like an I. Now, this part is where it's going to get me. Because I'm going to jump back over here to this side and finish this end. And then I'm going to jump back over here and get this diagonal, go through that diagonal. I'll show you. Same thing, double knot, tight cup, push it over. Okay? Okay, now that I got my needles off there, I'm going to hop back over here. start at the very bottom, right in the middle of that. Do 5 because that's how much it was on this side. So I'm pretty sure that's how much it's going to be on the other side. And I was misinformed. It was going to be 4. Okay, see, I'd take one off. I looked to see if it was going to fit. And only 4 is going to fit. So I'll go ahead and tack that at the very edge. Pull it through. Grab my second needle. Come up right in between them two. And this is a cool thing about this, is if you do not know exactly where to put your needle at in the beginning, you can go ahead and just make a little hole. And it's going to pop up in the back. Make sure you don't keep your eye off that hole. Stick your needle through it. Pull. Tack that baby down. That's the cool part about that. That's why I like starting out on beading. All right, now we go right in the middle of this, and you see how it's flimsy? It's because I did not have a tight grip on it. And now that I do, it went back to normal. And this is probably going to be only 1 row of beads because that looks like it's about as much as it's going to fit on there, because I do not want to force 2 rows, because that's no good if you're forcing things. Yep, see, you're going to have gray on both sides, but at least the M is covered, is all I can say. We can go up probably 3 more beads. And your teacher did say you guys can do a design. I heard her say that. And you know what? I think it would be really cool is if you don't have 4 colors and you have multiple colors. I think a purple would have been a better one right here. But also, I'm not the teacher. I'm just a demonstrator, guys. So please don't come at me if you see me in public. And if you do have questions, you guys can be free to email me. I'm willing to help your teacher out as much as possible. Because this is my zen. This is where I find comfort. And see, your needle is always going to get tied up. But you guys just got to really take your time and get your needle unloose, untied. If it's because, you're setting it down. Yeah. That's all. Your needle is always savable. Just remember that. You can always save your needle. You can always save your thread. If you get little knots in it, work it. Don't try to just say, I don't want to do it no more and give up. Just totally try and get it to be unknotted. It's doable. I've done it multiple times so far. And you guys didn't even notice. Okay, now that we're getting to the very end of this 1 row, it's kind of going wonky. It's because it's not straight. As you guys can tell, see, it's coming at a curve. Which I find will be fine because we still got to put another row anyways right there. So if you don't like it to be straight, curvy, if you're doing a cursive, I'd like to see how you're doing that. Probably about 5 beads. Again, it's a longer platform on top of the M. So here we go. I was right. 5 worked. Tack it at the end. Call it a day. And then get to the middle of the M. Here we go. I'm going to do the same thing on this side as I did on the other side. I'm going to tack 2 at the end and then leave the middle one to just kind of be tacked down pretty good. Alright, now that we got that part done, the outer edge. Now it's the inner edge time, where we find ourselves doing a diagonal, which is fine because straight lines are not everything in beading unless you're doing a wallet like I do wallets. Straight lines are not necessarily that. Okay, We're almost done, guys. Getting pretty good at this whole getting it down. Alright, see that? See that? See that? See that? See that? And your teacher's trying to come in. There's an M. And I'm going to go back the same way with that. Maybe smaller beads. And 2 more I can fit up there. 2 small ones, because you got to leave a little slack for your thread. Yep. There we go. So after I get this done, I'm going to show you something that I was taught was not acceptable, but also is acceptable at certain points in beading. And because this is a medallion and something's going to go on the back of it, I'm pretty sure we can get away with this. It's not going to make a mess up or anything. It's not supposed to happen during your beading, because that's not proper beading, I guess, as my grandma would say. But what I'm talking about is, see how we have a gap from here to here on our needle? When we take it and we go straight to the other edge, put it right in the middle, you turn it around and you see this big old line. That's okay. That's fine. Because it's just going to be 1 row of beads anyways. And the same thing with your tacking needle. You can go straight across. But if we were to bend this and make it into like a little coin purse or something, then we can't do that. You got to double knot, cut off your end, and start on the other side, like I did when I went back and forth between the M's. Okay, so now we're almost done with this. Perfect. Put it right in the middle, because that's only going to be 1 single row of beads. Ta-da! We're almost done. See how straight lines that I did made the letter come out even more. Tack down your last few beads. And voila, there's the M. Double knot and tie at your bead ends to the back. Double knot, not single knot. There you go. Your letter M.